To go, ready.
All right, we're ready.
Hey boys and girls, we have Zacchaeus here today.
Zacchaeus is here, all the
in
way
the
to
house.
Orange City.
To Orange City, he came
Yes.
all the way for you guys. So did Mrs. Grota.
I'm here, woohoo, I exist.
So we're going to interview him,
right.
and we have a list of questions. But before we get to the questions, Zacchaeus, can you just kind of briefly explain to us a little bit about what happened in the tree that day?
Well, it's a good question. And you see, we are socially distanced. You see, we're not together, we're socially distanced. 6 feet. So, the day that Mrs. Lang was asking about, I was in my hometown of Jericho. See, it's the Jericho, they call the city of palms. And I was there and I wanted to see Jesus. But you see, I am not very tall. I am a wee little man, although we do not prefer that term, we prefer little people. And I was not able to see over the crowds, you see? I mean, you see, but I don't see. I cannot see. No see, I am too short. And so I wanted to see Jesus, so I found a sycamore tree. And the sycamore tree was just pretty much the right height. And I just got some climbing equipment. Yeah, some climbing equipment. And I just climbed up the tree. And I was in the branch. And since Jesus, he sees me. He says, Zacchaeus. He says, you come down. He says, I want to have supper at your house. So we had the zucchini. Zucchini was really, and some ziti, you know, he's Italian. And he's really good, a lot of things with the letter Z. And then I was with Jesus and he says, salvation come to this house. And I said, that's great, I'm happy to be saved. But Jesus, and then and then we will try to correct this momentarily. And then he says, you go and be a new man, Zacchaeus. I say, I'll be a new man. And he said, you give away your money. I say, give away the money. I don't need the money anymore. I have Jesus and he's all the better than the money. So I give away everybody more than I take. Because I a tax collector, but I give it all back. So I'm really, really happy, happy to be in Orange City today.
Wow. Well, we have some questions from the people.
Great.
Yep.
I love
we'll
them.
start with Brooke. Brooke wants to know, how tall are you actually? That's the first question. It's 2 parts. So
Okay.
how tall are you actually?
How tall am I actually? I'm actually 4'2". I identify as 6'6", but I'm actually 4'2". I'm not a very tall man. There's a 50 inches if you want to use the imperial measurement system in feet.
Okay. Part 2 of Brooke's question is, how do you make Play-Doh?
This is a great question. Well, when I was a little boy growing up in Capernaum, so we would use honey and peanut butter, and then sometimes we would mix in other ingredients too if we wanted to color it. And the best thing about it is you can make the Play-Doh and you make whatever you want. You make a zebra, you make a Zamboni, anything with the letter Z, and then when you're done, you can eat it. Is what we call edible Play-Doh.
I have a question, Zacchaeus.
Yeah.
What if someone can't eat peanut butter?
Is that a big question?
Yes.
Then I would recommend using something more soy-based.
There you go, Brooke. There you go. Okay, Mrs. Grundek, you have a question?
My first question is from Graham.
I
Graham
like
would like to know, how did you get up in the tree?
How did I get up? It's a leverage issue. It's really, what you do is you need to find the lowest branch that can support your weight. And then if you like to, you may use a rope and you can pull yourself up a little bit higher. Sometimes you can get a boost from your friends. But we don't do that now because we're socially distanced, no boasting allowed. We have to do this free climbing. It's a solo climb. And then what you want to do sometimes is you want to make sure that you have good shoes. Because if you have really slippery shoes, you can easily lose your balance. See, these are great shoes for climbing, and they're right on my feet. And what happens is that you need to get some good grip on the branch when you climb. And I would suggest that you also have a spotter. You need to have a spotter. Nobody can climb without a spotter. And if you fall on them, then the social distances just go by. So don't fall down off the tree. Climb carefully. Always tell someone before you begin to climb so they know where you are. And also, I would recommend probably using brightly colored clothing so that they can find you if you lost in the tree.
Okay.
Good
Okay, very
advice.
good. Cassidy wants to know, why did you live in a sycamore tree? And she says that's very interesting.
It is very interesting. Why I live in it? Because I learned from my friend X the Owl. He lived in a tree in a neighborhood of make-believe all of this time. And he said, it's beautiful because the rent is low. You never have to worry about the flooding. And you are always being serenaded by the birdies. It's a really interesting, I agree. Learned a lot about this because I first tried the oak tree. Too many acorns, they fall up on the head. Is it not good? And then I tried the maple tree, but then the sap. Because all you get is sticky. And you want to be sticky, Mrs. Lang? I don't want to be sticky.
No.
So the best tree is the sycamore tree.
Okay.
All right, our next question is from Nora. It's
Nora.
multi-question.
It's a multi-part
Yes,
question.
The first
I
question.
try the best.
Where did you come from?
Where did I come from? Well, that is an existential question, and one we will learn about in 5th grade, boys and girls. Next question.
What did Jesus say to you to help you change your ways and give the money back and become nice?
He says, Zacchaeus, I know nobody likes you because you're always taking their money. But even though no one has like you, I love you. And I want you to be the kind of guy that people look up to and they take good care of. And so he says, Zacchaeus, I don't care what other people say, I love you just the way they are. And when I heard that, he didn't even tell me to give the money back. He just told me that he loved me. And when he said that he loved me, my heart got warm inside. It all got changed. And I said, I want to do what you want me to do, Jesus. And he says, well, you do what your heart tells you to do. And so I decided I take too much money from people. I want to give them the back so that they can buy whatever they need from the grocery stores and from the toy stores. And if they get good health insurance, that's the kind of thing I'm really in for. Now I'm really into health insurance. It's a big thing.
Up and coming.
Yes, dental, not so much. I have a friend who takes care of that. And vision is not my, but health insurance is very important.
That's good.
Get good health insurance if you can.
Did you have, was that
No,
the part?
it was the multiple pieces.
Okay, you got it.
Next person.
That was all the pieces.
It was. She kind of ran them together. So.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Nora. That was gentle of you and kind.
Okay, so Veronica would like to know, did you actually live in the tree? And then also, she wants you to know, sometimes they sing Zacchaeus songs.
Well, thank you so much for singing the songs. It's always great to be part of a song. I love to sing myself. I'm a mezzo-soprano. You might not think I'm that high, but I am. And did I live in the tree? The answer to that question is yes. I lived in the tree for quite some time. You see, I gave away all my money and I did not have a place to stay. So I built a little, like a playhouse. You have playhouses in the trees? So I did it. You begin with the scaffolding and then you lay some trusses. And then what you want to do is you want to get a linoleum. You do not want pergola, you do not want carpet, you want linoleum. You install that in there. The bathroom issue, that was a challenge. I'm still working on that one. But yes, I did live there for an extended period of time. I have had dinner parties over there. I have... Really, it's been great to be in the nature that way. So yes, the tree is wonderful to live in. Thank you. It's a great question.
Yes.
Do you eat ziti
Um,
at your parties?
Do I eat ziti? Almost every time.
Oh, that's
Almost every time. Yes. You know, you have to get it al dente, as they say.
Oh,
that's
wow.
the challenge. Sometimes you can overcook
That
ziti.
is the best.
This is the best. Very well done. Thank you, Mrs. Grudike. I can see you playing along very, very nicely.
Our next question comes from a former We Blessings graduate.
Oh boy. There needs to be, okay,
His
we'll
name
take
is Tate.
Tate, very
Yes.
well, very well. Tate.
He said, you should know that's not safe
I should know that's not safe. Well,
to climb a
Tate,
tree.
first of all, I appreciate your concern for my safety. But if you use the proper equipment, it's all about the carabiners. If you use the right carabiner and you rappel properly, it is very safe to climb a tree. Now, you can't just go in your backyard and start climbing like you're like a monkey or something like that. That it would not be good stewardship of your body or your time. But if you can get the right equipment, it's very, very, very nice to climb. Thank you, Tate, for your concern, though. I see you a future OSHA member right there.
This next question comes from a Tamara. don't remember her from class, but
I don't think we allow these questions.
she would like to know, why do you not put milk on your cereal as the rest of mankind does?
Well, first of all, we no longer use mankind because it's not inclusive enough term. We
yes.
say humankind.
Humankind.
I'm really disappointed in Tamara for not knowing.
Oh, well,
but
I don't know that I kind of used that word.
nonetheless, I'm disappointed in Tamara. But I think that milk is not intended to go on cereal. The two words are colliding, you see. What you need to do is have a nice dry cereal and you have a nice tall glass to decide. When you mix together, you get a very soggy cereal. You want soggy cereal, it's not good. But when some people do that, I think maybe they're not all put together upstairs, sometimes. And so I would encourage Tamara, and I will say to you very, very sincerely, I take off my glasses, look me in the eye. The milk is not a good idea. The worlds cannot collide that way. Okay? We talk about this later. I know where you live.
I have one last question from Hannah. This is from Hannah. How did you get up in that tree?
Well, I thought that I explained this, but I will add one or two more additional points. The first is that you want to make sure that you have a good weight ratio balance. Now, what I mean by this is you cannot climb up the skinny branches. They will not support your weight. You need to find the ballast of a strong branch. I say 6 inches diameter minimum. Okay? That's minimum. So make sure that you don't climb up the branches with the leaves on it because you will fall right down and land on your kabusi pussy. And that's not a good idea. So I would make sure that you focus on the thick branches, not on the skinny branches. Moreover, I would also encourage you to learn from the squirrel. It's what I call the lesson of the squirrel. The squirrel tries to get a nut. He knows that if you follow the strong branch, it will lead you to exactly the nut that you want. Now that's a bit deeper than you might have expected, but the lesson of the squirrel is one that will become more clear to you as you get older.
We hit all the questions the children asked, so unless you have any closing remarks, or Alexa, if you had a question, that could be, no?
Oh, come here, I want to see,
Why
come
don't
here
you
a
just
second,
come
I want you to
visit
see
with
someone.
Zacchaeus?
But she does not want
She's
to.
being very shy and socially distant.
She's very
That's true.
socially
That's true.
distant, it's wise.
A good
If you
idea.
stand next to Zacchaeus, the kids could see how short he really is.
Will you come here for just a minute? I want you to see how tall I am.
We're
She's
going to
coming in
show
the
you
picture.
how short Zacchaeus is
Because I cannot
So
be.
he's shorter than
compared
me.
to a child.
See, we're about the same height.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
boy.
She is a beautiful girl who is a good friend of mine. And you want to say anything? Do you want to say hi to your friends from your class?